by 2 1/4 inches. What I'm trying to do is figure out the angle at which this needs to taper to go from this size here, which will fit around the LCD screen, to this size here where I'm going to have my eyepiece, which in this case I was able to find and use an old rubber eyepiece off a camcorder that we had lying around. I'm going to measure my eyepiece that I have, which happens to be about 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. And I need to remember that as this slides into the unit with the design of how this eyepiece is laid out, I actually measured what needs to be my inside dimensions on my unit. Finally, I've got one more measurement I need to figure out, and that's what distance do I want my eye from the LCD screen? How long does this need to be? What I did is I just took my eyepiece and held something with text up on it. It may be different for you, but I found 5 inches to be just about right for what I felt was comfortable. So now we're going to take all our measurements and begin to draw out the design. Going off the measurements of my LCD screen, I start by drawing a line 3 inches long. Now I find and mark the center point of that line, which is 1 1/2 inches. From that center point, I draw a perpendicular line straight up, measuring 5 inches long. Now I take the measurement of the eyepiece I'm going to use, in this case 1 1/4 inches, and I draw that line on top. Remember I mentioned earlier how the eyepiece needs to insert into the viewfinder. Well, in order to make sure my eyepiece can later recess into the finished viewfinder, I need to take my 1 1/4 inch measurement and add in the width of the foam board material I'm going to be using on the left and right side of my viewfinder. My foam board is 3/16 of an inch thick. Thus, my top measurement should actually be 1 5/8 inches long. At this point, it's now only a matter of connecting the dots. My pattern for the top and bottom of the viewfinder is complete. To make the 2 side pieces, all I need to do is change my bottom measurement from 3 inches to 2 1/4 inches, since this was the measurement of the sides of my LCD screen. I went ahead and cut out our top piece and our side piece so I could try to give you a better idea of what this is looking like. We'll be cutting out 4 pieces, a top, a bottom, and a left and right side. So here's my 4 pieces, top, bottom, and 2 sides. What I'm going to do here quick is I'm just going to take the edges and I'm going to bevel them with my knife. Interestingly enough, my calculations were slightly off and I had to add in an extra piece of foam right here in order to make a snug fit for the eyepiece. Now I'm going to take my flexible foam and cut out a piece to go between the viewfinder and the LCD screen on my camera. Pushing down firmly, I'll leave an end